Hi, I'm Florent Mehmeti and I'm founder and director of ODA Theatre from Pristina, Kosovo.
Thank you very much, Florent, for coming to ECF today and explaining a bit about your work. I wanted to ask you a few questions so we could make this short video. Can you explain a bit more about what you do at ODA?
Yeah, ODA is an independent theatre that was founded in 2003. It's more than 10 years old now. We also run a venue in central Pristina, about 440 meters square. It's a flexible black box type of theatre that we run, and we, aside our own productions, we host a lot of other events, theatrical, but also other artistic disciplines like concerts, exhibitions, screenings. We also host Pristina International Jazz Festival.
Oh wow!
Another festival that's called Skena Up. It's a festival for theatre and film, student festival for theatre and film. Another one-day festival called Rock for Rock is for very young emerging rock bands that they compete within a day in our space. But this is all traditional. That have created some tradition in being in ODA for many years now, but we also have one-time events.
So how long has ODA been going?
More than 10 years.
More than 10 years. Yeah. And so you're quite a big contributor to the cultural life in Pristina.
I believe so.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about why you've been in the Netherlands.
Yeah, so one of our latest works is creating work for public space, creating artistic work for public space, and our first big production of this is a project called Invisible Walls,
which ECF funded.
Which ECF has funded,
yeah,
together with other funders.
Yeah.
And the reason why we are here, because we performed in Oral Festival in Terschelling in Northern Holland, where we had our shows there for a period of 10 days while the festival was lasting. We performed 28 times.
How many?
28 times we performed in
wow.
Rural. We did four shows a day for 8 days.
Wow.
In schedule.
And how long were the shows?
The show is about experience. It's about 35 minutes.
And what's it about?
About invisible walls. The show is about restrictions, be it psychological or physical, about psychological invisible walls that either we create for us or that are created for us, and they are there and we don't overcome them. And it's a philosophical treatment of the freedom concept, if you like.
Okay.
We largely talk about the freedom, and in particular the freedom of movement, freedom of cultural relationship, freedom of being able to establish also a human relationship. And to us, this is an important theme.
Is this something that's specifically relevant to, you think, Kosovans?
Yeah, very much so. Kosovo is the last country in Western Balkans with still existing visa regime. It's an interesting fact.
Could you explain a bit more about that for people who don't know?
Yes, there's been latest developments in Western Balkans for visa liberalization. So
visa
liberalization.
Yeah. And
all of the neighboring countries already have, so they travel without a visa to Schengen countries.
Yeah.
While for Kosovars is still a visa regime in place, which means that we all have to apply for a visa to come here. But it's not only the application, is quite some complicated procedure.
Okay.
Sometimes for younger people, they don't issue very easily visa. It's all the procedures that you have to go, and parts of the text from these visa applications are parts of the text for the show.
Okay. And what was the audience's reaction to the show?
I think the audience reaction was very good.
It was largely a Dutch audience.
It was largely a Dutch audience, with some international, mainly professional audience that also liked it very much, which I'm much more pleased. For general Dutch audiences, it was emotional experience, because the show is quite emotional too, with very sudden shifts of moods from being a very funny and
humorous experience
and all of a sudden falling into a very serious situation. So this shift follows the whole 35-minute experience. It's very intimate. Conceptually, the show's kind of intrudes the private space of the audience. The audience is all around, it's in 360 degrees, there's no classical seating, so the audience is standing basically, and they're all together with the actors in this 35-minute experience. And the show happens in an enclosed space within an open public space. This is the territorial concept of the show, and then the experience of the audience is within this territorial restriction, that they go through experiences that we brought into work as personal stories of the actors, so the stories are of the actors themselves or the stories of the people that they know. And this has been a core material that we worked with in an artistic way to end up with a scene where the audience is trapped in this structure, let's say, with a see-through walls that they can see outside but they cannot access it. And in order to go out, they have to present their passport, which is the program of the show. And then, based on some questions that they've answered in the passport, some of them are allowed out and some of them are stuck in. And then there's some interaction in between invisible walls, which is the last experience of the show.
It sounds really interesting. Where else can we see these shows? You've just finished up here now in the Netherlands.
We finished in Ural. We're going to be showing it in Pristina and some other cities during the summer in Kosovo. We will show it in September in Skopje in Macedonia.
Yeah.
And then we are now negotiating with different festivals around Europe and maybe some in the region for the coming year. But from the feedback we have got from Ural, I think this is going to be a lasting project. At least for the next year, I think we're going to be present at least 5 festivals, which are mainly festivals of outdoor arts or artwork for public space.
Sounds great. Okay, well, we'll keep in touch and put them on the website. Thanks very much, Florent.
Thank you very much.